All right, everybody, good morning. It's Thursday, October 23, 2025. Hopefully, you're having a good end of the week. One more day, and it is the weekend. Or today is my Friday, because those of you who've been paying attention to the lore of the show know that I get to serve my 1 day unpaid suspension tomorrow. So I have a 3-day weekend. Guys, we got some stories lined up for you today since it is Thursday. Believe it or not, there is a Thursday night football game. I don't know how excited we all are about the Vikings and Chargers. Ooh, doesn't that just really wet the whistle and get you ready to rock and roll? Vikings vs. Chargers 3 must-know storylines for Thursday's Week 8 prime time game on Amazon Prime. Or as I like to call it, secondary screen viewing background stuff. And if I'm being completely honest with you guys, the last couple Thursday nights I've actually been just watching Timcast IRL instead of the football game because it's not the most exciting, on paper matchups, and this looks to be about the same. We'll take a look at 3 must-know storylines heading into tonight's primetime matchup over on Amazon Prime. And then we have lined up for you guys, Roger Goodell stands firm on Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show. After Trump calls selection, quote, ridiculous, Goodell says the decision to hire Bad Bunny was, quote, carefully thought through. Or Jay-Z told you who you were going to put out there on the stage, because that's how that works. If anybody knows how that really works, Jay-Z owns the company that ends up booking all of the Super Bowl halftime shows. So he's been hand selecting the performers. I think for over a decade now at this point. But we'll take a look at what Roger Goodell has to say over from what was that, Fox News. Yeah, Fox News has pulled up. Then shout out, I do want to give a shout out to Brent DeWitt bringing this story to my attention. Not really something that pops up when you search Lions news. You actually have to search Taylor Decker injury. Worrisome Taylor Decker injury news kicks off Lions bye week. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, guys. It's not good. The reality is Taylor Decker should have retired probably 2 years ago. And we're watching the collapse and the deterioration of a former first-round pick and a Pro Bowl caliber tackle. Relatively solid guy throughout his career here in Detroit, the duration that he has played through, quite a few ups and downs. One of the few holdovers from the Quintricia era. But the reality is the man's not getting any younger, and he's losing power. His shoulder's deteriorating right before our very eyes. And there's not a lot we can do, both in preventing the continued deterioration on top of there's not a lot in the cupboards. We're kind of FUCT fucked if this goes south quicker than expected. Then we are going to, after a little bit of down in the dumps about Decker, replace the deck. Tim 20man has 5 players who've impressed through the first 7 games. So we're going to kind of start to uplift a little bit, get a little high out our own supply before we enjoy a bye week where we don't have to stress about our Detroit Lions. Not going to make any money because I don't know any of the bets or people to put money on because I don't follow any of the other teams the way I do the Detroit Lions. So it's always a bad break for me on these weeks. But we have 5 players who've impressed Tim 20man. I think we know a lot of the names, because there are a lot of the guys that the foundation of the franchise is built upon. And then, you know what? We're just going to keep trending upward with a why can we not feel good, right? Why? Let's go ahead and just continue to feel good. Former Lions fan favorite cornerback gets tryout with the struggling Houston Texans. Former Detroit Lions fan favorite Jerry Jacobs has a new NFL opportunity. Now, personally, he wasn't the best corner guy in the NFL, and he never was going to be. But the heart and the grit and the effort that Jerry Jacobs went out there and put every week for the Detroit Lions was admirable. Personally, I was a fan of the guy, and it was a bummer to see him go. But there's a reason. Until Brad Holmes is proven otherwise, he is the smartest man in the NFL and knows way more than I do. How we doing, Mad Hatter Nation, on this Thursday morning? Yeah, Jody, I don't know. I think it's because I changed the title of the video just to kind of further feed the algorithm a little bit. Nothing I could really put in there was overly appealing to the mechanical clanker gods. Jack, what's up, Jack? Good to see you, brother. I feel like you've been gone the last couple days, dude. I'm glad to see you're alive, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions traded for a center or tackle before the deadline. Glasgow is barely getting it done, and if the Lions intend to go deep, they better have a backup plan. I don't think Cologne is it. I agree with you, my guy. Draft a center first, then tackle, says Brent. Goodell is a moron. Yes, we are in complete solidarity with that one right there. Brandy Coffee. How you doing, sister? Good to see you. Hi, diddly ho, neighbor Ryan Allen, my guy. An MVP dude right there, my guy. Ryan Allen, good to see you, brother. I appreciate you tuning in. Brent, Jack, GG is looking old. More of a backup. Yep, agreed. Jody, I've never heard of Bad Bunny until he got picked for the halftime show. That makes two of us. I had no idea. To be completely honest, I thought Bad Bunny, this is just how out of date I am with some pop culture stuff, just to show my age. I thought Bad Bunny was the Catch Me Outside girl. Catch me outside, how about that? I thought that's who Bad Bunny was. Also, I don't like the fact that we are in a point in our culture and society where a fully grown man is going by the name anything Bunny. Bro. What the fuck? It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It looks like we got a full lineup here, guys. Mad Hatter Nation turned out in full effect. Ooh, we got some a little bit of a rift here. We do have a community or a poll up in the chat for you guys. Replacement for Rags, Deck, or Robin to Hutch's Batman in the draft. Which do you guys think we should do? 29% of you say we need some new Rags. 57% of you say it's time to replace the Deck. And 14% of you, now this is a little bit of a deep cut. In case you guys can't tell, I am a bit of a Batman fan. I have quite a bit of different art and very well read on the lore of Batman up to a certain point. So just not Jason Todd with 14% of the vote. If you know, you know that's a bit of a deep cut there, guys. We're really crossing our wires, making the algorithm incredibly confused. What up, Rick? Good to see you, dude. Hard to get teams to come off of quality centers. There are no upgrades available for trade. That's it, Rick. I agree with you because I actually think that the quality of center play in the NFL is very, very shit. There are really good There you go. There are really good centers, and then there are just like dog shit centers. You know what I'm saying? I first heard Bad Bunny. I thought it was a new kid's toy. Exactly, dude. See, you guys get it. You guys get it. All right, fellas. If you guys could do me a solid, go ahead and press all my bells and ring all my buttons. Walk on over to that subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Ring that notification bell. You know the deal. We are live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. as well as any time the Detroit Lions are playing a game. We will be coming at you live before the game with our little pregame digital tailgate edition of the Hat and Beard Show. We're going to be placing some dollars and trying to make some bets. Obviously, we're off this week, and we're going to enjoy it. So no Sunday show, just going to kind of enjoy my Sunday like a normal person. It's going to be kind of relaxing, and hopefully I can think about what I did and understand the magnitude of my actions or the seriousness of these actions. Fucking buttholes. Like the video, share this video around with everybody you know. It's the #1 way to get this channel up past... at the time of recording, we were at 769 very nice subscribers, but the closer we get to 800, whoo-hoo, boy, we are growing exponentially, and that is simply because of each and every one of you doing the heavy lifting for me, and I genuinely do appreciate it. So now that we've done all that, let's go ahead and just get into the show.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
Alrighty, dighty, coming to us from NFL.com, Eric Edholm. Vikings Chargers 3 must-know storylines for Thursday's Week 8 prime time game. Ooh, where's it going to be? SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, Calif. Over by you, Derek. We're going to have a little in your neck of the woods game. And I just think it's weird whenever there's a primetime game in the week over on the West Coast. I think, do you guys get out of work early? Because, I mean, if it's 8 o'clock here, that means it's like 5 o'clock there. Do y'all get out of work early? Is that like a thing on the West Coast? Is it like socially acceptable to leave work early on days when there's a primetime game on a work day? Because it's like, dude, or do you just take the whole day off? And again, is that socially acceptable? I've always kind of been curious about that. Similar to the idea of, I think it's hilarious that people on the West Coast are over there eating like fucking pancakes and drinking coffee because it's like 10 or 11 in the morning out there when kickoff starts here. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things that I'm such a cultural turd that I don't quite understand or grasp what it's like to live outside of my weird little mitten here. Thursday was supposed to be a meeting of Viking QB J.J. McCarthy and Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh, who teamed up at Michigan to win an NCAA national title 2 seasons ago. Instead, Carson Wentz will make his 5th straight start for the Minnesota Vikings, facing Los Angeles in a battle of 2 wayward teams. The Chargers won their first 3 games of the season, but have lost 3 of the past 4. Minnesota is 3-3, ping-ponging between wins and losses every other week. This game also will be the first meeting of Harbaugh and Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell, who 20 years ago were in San Diego concurrently. Harbaugh as USD head coach and O'Connell as the QB at San Diego State. Yes, ping-ponging around. This is we're going to start calling Minnesota the Forrest Gump season as they just ping-pong back and forth. Number 1 storyline, Herbert hopes to end the slide. I feel like I might have cursed you, Justin Herbert, because I said that you were a very underrated and the West Coast equivalent of Josh Allen, and then you promptly decided to go ahead and set the whole season on fire. That's not necessarily your fault. You have a MASH unit for an offensive line, and as a Detroit Lions fan who suffered through a 15-2 number 1 seed with 197 players on IR, I completely understand what it's like and the troubles you are going through. It sucks. It sucks. Let's be honest. It sucks. I'm glad I'm not a Chargers fan. The Chargers have struggled since their 3-0 start, and the offensive imbalance has been part of the problem. As their offensive line and backfield have crumbled to poor health, the Chargers have asked more of Justin Herbert. It hasn't gone as planned. Hey, threw for a career-high 420 yards on Sunday, also very nice, but 2 interceptions while taking 3 sacks. Herbert also was the Chargers' leading rusher. And when they've not had much of a run game, the offense has gone cold. You know what's coming in this game against D.C. Brian Flores? Pressure. The Vikings have the 2nd highest blitz rate in the NFL, and Herbert has been blistered 93 times, top among all QBs. There are plenty of weapons at Herbert's disposal, and rookie tight end Orlando Gadsden the second. Damn, I am so bad at reading. I am so fucking bad at reading that I read this guy's name properly, except for the second. I read it as the third. I'm 15 minutes in. I'm fucking retarded. Jesus Christ. Had a breakout game in Week 7 with 7 catches for 164 yards and a touchdown against the Colts. The Eagles took their shots all game against the Vikings on Sunday and were able to generate offense out of structure. That figures to be the game plan for Herbert on Thursday, and Minnesota's secondary should have its hands full unless the rush gets home more often than not. Second storyline, number 2, the wiener is wiggling on Carson Wentz. Jefferson, and they face a tough challenge. Carson Wentz will be making his 5th start in place of J.J. Little Boy McCarthy, going 2-2 in his first 4. In 2 victories, Wentz has completed 72% of his passes, averaging 204.5 yards, and had a total of 3 touchdowns to 0 interception split. In the 2 losses, Wentz averaged 331 pass yards, but has a completion percentage of only 63.6, with 1 touchdown and 2 picks. Justin Jefferson and T.J. Butthole Hutchinson have been more productive with Wentz at QB, and Jordan Addison registered a career-high 9 catches for 128 yards versus the Eagles last week. Ooh, very impressive. Jefferson should be busy and will be a tough cover for Tariq. I'm so thankful that the contractors just decided to show up right now to do work on my house. Awesome. Boy, awesome. Absolutely. The Chargers have allowed 79.8 had allowed a 79.8 opponent passer rating in 2025, which is the third lowest in the NFL, but the Colts lit them up for 38 points, with Daniel Indiana Jones registering 113.4 passer rating on Sunday. Chargers safety Elijah Molden, who missed Sunday, was limited in practice Tuesday. Wentz has been at his best when the run game is humming, and Jordan Mason generally has done a good job. He could even get help from Aaron Jones, who has returned to practice after a stint on injured reserve and was limited Tuesday. Number 3, Vikings and Chargers each have their share of offensive line issues. Carson Wentz has not been a sure. Carson Wentz was not a sure thing to start the game because of his left shoulder injury. He's been sacked 14 times and hit 28 times in his 4 starts. The Vikings have had 5 different starting offensive line combinations in 2025. Only the Panthers and Browns, with 6 each, have had more this season. With offensive tackle Brian O'Neill still not practicing Tuesday, the Vikings might have a shell group blocking again. They've also surrendered an interior pressure rate of 10.4%. per Next Gen Stats, which is more than 2% higher than the next worst team. The Vikings have allowed 11 sacks to interior rushers, so tops. Third on that list is the Chargers with 8. The Chargers' offensive line has fallen into despair since right tackle turned left tackle Joe Alt, big O Joe Alt, hurt his ankle. There's hope Alt can return Thursday, but he, Trey Pipkins, Jamari Saylor were limited in Tuesday's practice, making their status uncertain. With the way Brian Flores and the Chargers Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter operates, it could be a long night for the offensive lines and the quarterbacks they're tasked with protecting. Sorry that I'm very distracted. I'm trying to do my best over here, guys. We're trying to do our best to get through this. Trying our best over here. Woo-wee. Oh, St. Joe. Oh, St. Joe. Help me out, St. Joe. How we doing, chat? Good morning, Go Lions. What's up, Mom? I don't care if we even make any trades. Left tackle from one of the current dumpster fires. Maybe that'd be nice. Down here in West Palm, managing these crews. Is their fancy high-rise is fun? Guys, do not use the resident elevator. Labor proceeds. Don't you love it when they just don't do it? You explicitly tell them in just like the simplest terms, do not use that, bro. Last week I had some dipshit in the kitchen take a, since we don't have lockout locks at work, okay? Yeah, we don't have lockout locks, and we have no means of communication. We have no tags, no nothing. The only mean to disable stuff is to literally like put duct tape over a 3-phase fucking 480 breaker, to which the kitchen staff then decided that they really needed to use that piece of equipment, a 5-horse 480 3-phase garbage disposal. So they informed me that they were taking the tape off of the breakers, slamming the breaker home, and making it run. And I was like, well, okay then. You enjoy that, dumbass. Oy vey, oy vey. Oh, JPJ coming out of retirement? A puppet for the NFL. Yes, I do agree. Use the elevator that's completely covered in padding. Dude, bro. Like, you're talking the drape, pad that you put in an elevator when you're doing construction, like the shipping or moving blanket style. The one that it's like, this is clearly the elevator for this one is clearly for you. You see the one that I told you not to use? The nice, clean one that doesn't have any protective barriers in it that the residents are using? Don't use that one. Use the one that is clearly for you. And they go, got it, boss. And you know it just went right over their old dome, dude. Right over their dome. Oy vey. Sounds like both Chargers and Vikings are equally handicapped, so it may actually end up being a good game. Yeah, it could be a good game, Jody. I'm just not too high on either team. S. Curry, what kind of coffee are you drinking? So I wake up and pound 300 milligrams of caffeine in my bucked up shake with 10 milligrams of creatine, iodine, and then protein shake has 2 servings of espresso. I go with the Jocko caffeinated protein powder in the morning that I mix with my collagen and 10 more grams of creatine. So that Jocko has 80 milligrams in it that I also mix with 4 cups of coffee in my morning protein shake plus whatever is in just this regular cup. So we get a little bit moving, a little bit grooving, a little bit rocking and rolling. Oh, Black Rifle, dude, Mr. Detroit City, bro, legit big Black Rifle coffee fan. They just like my favorite one, the Vanilla Bomb. They don't have it in stores like anywhere here anymore. I do buy some of their bags of ground coffee or whole beans because we got a grinder here. I'm a big fan though of the guy who started the that I shot blue methylene to wash it down. Yeah, bro, exactly. You know, apparently I have an addiction to caffeine. Here's the thing, guys. Yo, I get home, I go to bed at like 12:30, 1 o'clock. I got to get up at like 6:37 at the absolute latest in the morning. So, like, I got to hit the ground running, y'all. Like, I'm to the point now where I'm thinking about getting smelling salts to just, like, wake up and just, like, literally, like, roll out of bed, grab the jar of salts, hit that, and then start running because, like, right now it's like, dude, I gotta slam caffeine right out the rip, and like one of the first things I do is because I'm a big advocate of the nutrient nicotine, not all the chemicals that come with it, but the nutrient nicotine. I wake up and it's like lip pillow engaged. You know what I'm saying? I hit them uppers like right out the rip, dude. Try new caffeine pouches from ALP. Dude, I've heard about those, dude. They have them now? It's like a mouth pillow to get geeked. So do they have caffeine and nicotine in them, bro? Because I think. It's very distracting. It's very distracting. But we got it. We got this. We've got this. We're gonna stay focused, boys. Roger Goodell stands firm on Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show after Trump calls selection, quote, ridiculous. The algorithm's gonna punish me. Goodell addressed the controversy surrounding the Grammy-winning Puerto Rican artist, some of which comes from President Donald Trump at the annual Fall League meeting on Wednesday. This is the first time Goodell discussed the choices of Bad Bunny, though the backlash is nothing new for him. Quote, it's carefully thought through, Goodell said, the decision-making process of the halftime show. I'm not sure we've ever selected an artist where we didn't have some blowback or criticism. It's pretty hard to do when you have literally hundreds of millions of people that are watching. Okay, yep, I understand where you're coming from, but this selection is dumb. Dumb. It's dumb. Go ahead, NFL. Just Bud Light yourself. Bad Bunny, whose birth name is Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, has caught flack from Trump and his supporters, given his public comments about the president and his administration. The 31-year-old he's 31? You're 31 dressing like that? Gay. The recent expressed fears about U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. We got this. Which is why he decided to do a residency in his native Puerto Rico to avoid stops in the United States. He said earlier this month he didn't book any U.S. dates. We know that. But there was like an issue of like fucking ICE would be outside my concert, and it's something that we're talking about and very concerned about, he told ID, whatever ID is. Bad Bunny also recorded and posted a video of what he described as local ice raids to social media in Puerto Rico. Look, those motherfuckers are these cars, RAV4s. They're here in Apantazula, he said in Spanish, mentioning ICE working in the Advendia, Pantazula in Carolina. Dude, I am fucking dumb. A city east of Puerto Rico's capital, San Juan. Hey, guess what, dude? Yeah, ICE can do whatever the fuck they want, Puerto Rico, dude. Might need to get ICE out here at my house, dude. This is getting a little... Sons of bitches, instead of leaving people alone, are working here, which we can do. Look at this guy. You believe that this is a 31-year-old grown man that I'm supposed to take seriously? Look at his little curly. Whoop. Oh, it's so accidental, isn't it? It's just so accidental, and I'm just so quirky. Look at my goofy little hat. What a dork. Dude, you are a dorkfish who got caught on a corn dog. You are just a dorkfish that got caught on a corn dog, you fucking weirdo. Some NFL fans had an issue not only with the comments, but with his hit songs all being sung in Spanish. But Goodell has qualms with the show he's expecting from Bad Bunny. We're confident it's going to be a great show, he said. He understands the platform and that he's on, and I think it's going to be exciting and a united moment. No, I don't think. I actually really am excited to see the metrics of the game, to see like at halftime when the viewership just tanks. Just like boop. Yeah, this is a stupid article. I don't really care about reading any more of that bullshit. He wears skirts and dresses, and my understanding is that his songs aren't even sung in English. Exactly. I don't really get it. The Super Bowl is one of the most American sports ever. Can't we at least get someone who sings in English? I agree with you, Jody. I agree with you. It looks like he's trying to be the Weeknd's cousin. Yes, he does, doesn't he? Bill Engvall reference. Let's go, dude. Lions bad guy fan. Brother, I haven't thought about Bill Engvall in years. Is Bill Engvall still alive? 15 degrees. You're talking 15 degrees off cool. He's like, here I am. I'm with the tassels. And I'm just 15 degrees off cool. That you talking Bill Engvall? Let's go, dude. Let's go. Try new caffeine pouches. It's Dummy Goodell. What do you expect, dude? And I just wish that, like, Roger Goodell, at some point he's got to go. At some point, the owners, but they're never gonna, because the thing with Roger Goodell, guys, is he's making them so much fucking money, dude. Sorry, I had to hit the old oil can there, boys and girls. He's alive. Here's your sign. Yes, all right, so he is alive. Hell, that's what it was. Yeah. Here's your sign. Yeah, I can't quite do the Bill Engvall. I'm not exactly sure which southern area of the South he's from to really kind of hit that, because he's a little bit more up in the top of his mouth, kind of not so much of that southern panhandle. It's just kind of like molasses falling out your mouth. If you get that reference, you're fucking awesome, dude. If you know what that is, drop it in the chat if you know what I just quoted. My buddy used to have a bumper sticker that said, Uncle Sam wants you to speak English. Damn straight he does, brother. Damn straight he does, Brent. That is awesome. I used to have this cool bumper sticker that I had in the back of my Cutlass when I was delivering pizzas back in the day. And it was the handicapped guy humping an A, and it said, fucking A. And I thought it was hilarious. It was the funniest thing ever. Back in the old slush buggy, my old two-door Cutlass Supreme, that bad boy. Woo! Slush buggy pizza delivery champ, dude. They're just going ham out there. And the best part is, guys, is they're doing all this work right along where my internet connection runs outside of the house. So if something happens and we suddenly just disappear, you know why. Over from Detroit Jock City, shout out Brent DeWitt, bringing this to my attention early this morning. Worrisome Taylor Decker injury news kicks off Lions bye week. The Lions are in the midst of a much-needed bye week. The additional rest will provide them with the opportunity to get healthy before the second half of the season, with 4 out of their first 5 games after the bye coming against the Vikings, Commies, Eagles, and Packers. Getting more starters back should do wonders for Dan Campbell and co. While the Lions are waiting for their key defenders to return, they received a concerning update from their key starters on the offensive side of the ball. I should point out while I think of it, this is actually 8 o'clock coffee, and it's the high caffeine. Damn, I am a caffeine addict. Taylor Decker, who returned, I buy White Monsters by the case. I think I have a fucking problem. Taylor Decker, who returned to action on Sunday after missing the previous 2 weeks with a shoulder injury, is now dealing with the same issue, as reported by A to Z Sports' Mike Payton on Tuesday. Dan Campbell was reportedly asked whether he thinks, quote, it will hold up, to which he responded that, yeah, he hopes so. I hope so, too. Taylor Decker's risk in Week 7 comes back to bite them. This is the risk they took by rushing Decker back before the bye week. The 32-year-old has been dealing with the same shoulder ailment since training camp, having to skip practices while nursing it. In fact, he had only participated in 3 of 18 practices since the Lions began issuing an injury report with the start of the season, per Detroit Free Press's Dave Burkett, the Detroit Free Press that you have to pay a monthly subscription to read the article. He unexpectedly turned to practice on Thursday and returned to action on Sunday, playing a season-high 68 offensive snaps. As it's almost always the case, Decker was excellent in his snaps. He was a clear upgrade over Giovanni Manu and Dan, your friendly neighborhood Dan Skipper, who started in his place in Week 5 and Week 6. So it is understandable why the Lions would want their most reliable veteran back to secure a win before the bye week after losing to the Chefs. Just consider the recent PFF grades for each of those 3. And here you go. Decker in 2025, he's at a 60. He's at a 66.8. Down significantly from where he was last year. Dan Skipper actually playing 0.6 points higher than he was last year. And unfortunately, Giovanni Manu playing like absolute ass and having nothing to go off of last year. So, not so great, not so good, not so great. At the same time, the Lions have to have a longer-term version of when making these decisions. Decker is one of the toughest players in the league, and he takes a lot of contact every week. He is in his 10th year in the NFL, and playing such a physical style of play, Decker is constantly at risk of injury. The fact that his discomfort returned immediately after playing a game is not a good sign for the rest of the season. This is obviously going to be the situation the Lions need to monitor all season. They need Decker to be as healthy and as fresh as possible for the final stretch of the season and the playoffs. So the priority needs to be getting him as much rest as possible through the season and hoping his shoulder holds up. Yes, this is a very important thing because we have nothing, as I said in the intro, we have nothing in the cupboard. Everybody, Jamarco Jones was kind of supposed to be our, swing tackle. Well, you're done for the whole year. Giovanni Manu is supposed to be that developmental piece, done on IR till at least week 11. Fuck are we going to do, man? We didn't draft no offensive lineman to play that spot. I guess Miles Frazier could or was supposed to be that, but he's not even active right now. What do we do? That's why I'm actually kind of in the camp of, we do need to start looking at possible draft replacements for, old Dan Skipper. Decker was trying to shoulder the load. Mr. Detroit City, he's been shouldering the load for quite a while. And, we do need to come to the realization that, even though Taylor Decker isn't the best left tackle to ever play the game, he is a really solid 10-year player in the Detroit Lions organization. When you compare him to the likes of Jeff on My Backus and Gosder Cherilus, I think we kind of knocked it out of the park with Taylor Decker. Obviously, he's no Penny Sewell, but, he is a good player. Okay, might be time to draft a high tackle in 26, round 1 or 2. I'm liking the rounds 1 or 2 as well. Lions bad guy, or Lions bad guy fan. I'm right with you there. Damn, it's jerking it all over the place. If Decker ends up playing less than half the games, it's probably time to retire. Love him. But when it's time, it's time. And I think, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he probably considered retiring last year. I know that him and Frank Ragnow are pretty close off the field. And I know that he at least reached out to Decker a few weeks back on how he kind of dealt with these incredibly stressful, nagging season-long injuries. But yes, and I actually said, Jody, way back when in the preseason, that this was actually before Frank Ragnow even retired. I had said that this was going to be Frank Ragnow's last year, whether we won the Super Bowl or not. But that Taylor Decker probably had a chance of trying to gimp it out one more year if we didn't win the Super Bowl. But when we win the Super Bowl this year, Taylor Decker needs to retire. It is time. It's you had the whole offseason to get healthy. It didn't quite work out, and now we're dealing with these injuries. And, we're putting a lot of faith that you're going to be available all season long. So we didn't draft a replacement for you, and then it's kind of looking like it might turn around to bite us in the ass or give an opportunity for it to bite us in the ass. I would like to see a replacement tackle brought in at some point. A young, not Giovanni Manu, a first or second round guy. And maybe it's something where we look at bringing in a right tackle and then moving Penne over to his natural position at left tackle. Maybe that's the move that we end up making. Do you really think the Raiders would trade Jackson Powers Johnson? I'd be all for that. I would be too. Is he on the block? Is JPJ on the block? But Brad, what happened to you? Can't teach size when it comes to Giovanni Manu, but you can teach him everything else, and that's why we drafted him. I agree. I agree with you, Lions bad guy fan. That is why we drafted him. He is a developmental piece, and admittedly, I've been on record saying that he played decent enough against the Bengals, though not great. He played decent enough for where he's at in his development. Listen to Raider Sports, Chat Sports. They have been issues with their line working the guys together, and if they fit together. Okay. I thought Frazier was supposed to be another guard. Yeah, I think he is, but he also has exposure at playing tackle at LSU. He was their swing tackle. He was immediate. Like if one of the tackles went down, he would move from guard to tackle, and then someone would come in and play guard for him. Meredith at center or not, they can Chip Kelly need to figure out that ASAP trade to get one of them. Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. Frazier can play anywhere on the line when he's healthy. That's what they're saying, Brent. That's what I hear. Both of the Vegas tight ends are banged up all year. This is what they might want to let go. Their puzzle pieces don't fit. Past time drafted a good tackle. They need one last year. I agree with you, Jack, but that was, I think, the idea of Giovanni Manu, just to kind of see, and it doesn't really quite seem to be working out. JPJ was the guy that they should have drafted. They're lucky he may be available now. So legit, is Jackson Powers we might have to call an audible here on the show, guys. We might have to get out into the weeds on that. Jackson Powers Johnson. Yeah, I remember this guy coming out of the draft. I was really high on this guy. Pete Carroll's using him as a scapegoat. Why is Pete Carroll scapegoat and Jackson Powers Johnson? Let's go to Ebony Bird. Oh, well, this is the Ravens. Why are the Ravens talking about? I don't want Ravens. Silver and black pride. Take a step back. Second round pick, had a rough game. He allowed 3 pressures, 1 sack on just 14 tries. He also struggled in the running game. God damn. It got to the point where the guard had been benched in favor of Alex Kappa. He sucks. No season for Oregon Products still. Damn. So he's not having a great year. Is he actually on the block? Because if he's on the block, this is the move. Buzz, deadline November 4th. Jacoby Myers recently confirmed he still prefers to be traded. Another intriguing asset, Jackson Powers under Pete Carroll after switching positions from his better-suited center to guard and having to battle Alex Kappa for the starting gig. Recently benched in Kansas City. Pete Carroll continues to scapegoat Powers Jackson. The Las Vegas Raiders appear to be a low offensive lineman. But it's become obvious that Carroll isn't Powers Johnson fan. The Raiders are intent on sticking with Carroll. Better outcome to see Carroll stop messing with Powers Johnson placement on the roster. I got nothing so far. All I got is just a little bit of scuttlebuttle. Gio can develop into a backup, but probably gonna be it. He played at Canadian school. Come on, that's what I think. I was honestly, guys. I kind of had this feeling that Gio is Giovanni Manu's ceiling is Dan Skipper's career. That's what I think Giovanni Manu ends up being. Brad fell in love with the Philadelphia. Yep, Monsters aside. Yep, dude. Lions bad guy. Yes, Brad fell in love with it. Yes. Fell in love with Philadelphia Eagles drafting monsters of Cy and tackle and thought to do the same thing. Watch me pull this rabbit out of his hat named Gio. Yep, and it doesn't seem to be quite working. It's not just him that could move, but their starting lineup and O-line isn't working. He keeps moving them all around. I see where you're saying with the moving it around, and there's a little bit of scuttlebuttle, but I'm not really seeing anything like kind of concrete. At least nothing in the last couple of days, or at least in the last few hours. Everything's like weeks old. Didn't I just read this? Yeah, I just read this. Well, that's something to keep an eye on. Jim needs to figure out. Maybe he just don't like them. Who knows? I don't know what's going on with the Raiders, man. I'm just glad I'm not a Raiders fan. But if Jackson Powers Johnson is a possible asset that could be acquired and it's within striking distance of the Detroit Lions, yes, please. I was really high on him coming out of Oregon as a rookie. I was really high on that guy, dude. I was really high on him. So what do we want to read, guys? We got we got 2 articles and enough time to read one of them. Do we want to talk about Jerry Jacobs getting a crack with the Houston Texans, or do we want to talk about the Lions and 5 players who impressed through the first 7 games? I think we're gonna want to go with Tim 20-man's article. Let me know in the chat, 20-man or Jerry Jacobs. Tim 20-man. Tim 20-man. There's that poll still up. Replacement for Rags, Deck, or Robin Hood Hutch as Batman in the draft. Make sure you cast a vote if you haven't already. Replace the Deck. Seems to be running away with it. Ryan Allen says 20-man. Ryan Allen's calling the show. Director Ryan Allen. Hi, diddly ho. Ryan Allen. Tim 20-man. 5 players who impressed through first 7 games. The Detroit Lions had their bye week, or head into their bye week 5-2. Detroit's received several stellar performances through the first 7 weeks of the season. Here's a look at 5 players who have really stood out for Detroit through 7 games. Oh, you guys know him, and you know I love him. Quarterback Jared Goff, JG16 for MVP. Goff currently ranks first among all NFL quarterbacks in passer rating with 116.4, second in completion percentage with 74.9, almost 75% of his passes, and third in touchdown passes with 15. Quietly 15. Detroit's offense is 3rd in points per game and 9th in total offense. Goff's the best quarterback in football against the blitz with a 128.8 rating when teams go after him with extra defenders. He has complete command of John Morton's offense and is playing at an MVP caliber level to begin the year. Now, I want to emphasize, Goff is the best quarterback against the blitz with a 128.8 rating. Jared Goff, breaking news. Jared Goff is the best quarterback in the NFL against the blitz. 4 years ago, Jared Goff was the way you defeated Jared Goff was to blitz Jared Goff. Now Jared Goff has grown to the point where he can turn his weaknesses into his absolute strength. Jared Goff, the best quarterback in football against the blitz with a 128.8 rating. Number 2, our guy. You guys have no idea how bad I want to run over here, open the window, and grab his fucking tape measure and pull it all the way out of his hands because I can this motherfucker's tape measure just waving back and forth in my window, and I cannot express to you the degree of frustration that I've been having during this entire show right now. I am barely keeping it together, fellas. Hutchinson is the number 2 graded edge defender by Pro Football Focus, trailing only Green Bay's Micah Parsons. Hutch has got a 92.2 and Parsons got a 93.4. Damn. Woo! NFC North. Scary defensive division. Hutchinson has 48 total pressures on the season, which is 10 more than the next best edge player, Los Angeles Jared Verse with 38. Hutchinson ranks 4th in sacks with 6 and 1st in forced fumbles with 4. He picked up right where he left off last season as one of the most disruptive defenders in the game. Detroit's expected to get several players back from injury on defense coming out of their bye, and that's only going to make Hutchinson's job easier moving forward. Number 3, the names just keep piling up exactly who you'd expect. Wide receiver, Amon St. Brown. He is the 12th player in NFL history to record at least 50 receptions, 525 receiving yards, and 7 receiving touchdowns through the first 7 games of a season, and is the second Lions player to do so, joining Herman Moore in 1996. St. Brown currently ranks 6th in receptions, 50, 5th in receiving yards, 538, and 1st in touchdown receptions with 7 amongst NFL receivers. He's Goff's security blanket and a player who continues to show he's one of the best in the business at creating separation and space. He's also one of the better downfield blocking wide receivers in the game. He's also probably one of, if not the best, as far as elusiveness, agility, evasiveness, and toughness, being able to deliver a blow after the catch in the NFL. He's a very lethal, dangerous wide receiver. Number 4, give him his goddamn gold jacket already. My favorite Detroit Lion. Yeah, you know who he is. It's our guy. Oh, the Penny Sewell, the Hall of Fame tackle. Oh, yeah. The top-graded tackle by Pro Football Focus is off to another All-Pro campaign and is currently the favorite for the league new Protector of the Year award. Through 7 games, Sewell hasn't allowed a single sack and has been credited with allowing 1 quarterback hit and just 6 total pressures. His 97.4 run blocking grade is also top in the NFL by a considerable margin. And number 5, starting to get a little bit of recognition, both in the Lions fan base and nationally. I've been saying it, that this year was going to be a big year for our boy, Action Jack Campbell. I've been saying he's going to be the second coming of Brian Urlacher. Yeah, oh yeah. Linebacker Jack Campbell, Detroit's third-year linebacker, recorded 8 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, 1 sack, 1 quarterback hit, and 1 pass defended against Tampa Bay Monday night. That is a very busy man. He's the first Lions linebacker to produce a season with at least 5 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. And we're only in Week 8. He recorded at least 6 tackles in 12 straight games, and his 64 tackles on the season ranks 6th in the NFL. Honorable mention. Another fucking guy I've been high on. And everybody told me. I've been told all these things. Breaking news, I was told that Zadarius Smith was the only solution at the defensive end spot for the Detroit Lions. I was told by a guy who seems to be was a Bears fan. Haven't seen him in the chat a while. Broski Bear told me how absolutely trash Al-Qadim Muhammad was. But honorable mention edge rusher Al-Qadim Muhammad. The Lions have been looking for a player on the edge opposite Hutchinson to consistently take advantage of one-on-one matchups. Muhammad is proving to be that player. He's among the top 20 highest-graded edge rushers in the league. He's produced 5 sacks, 10 quarterback hits, and 4 tackles for a loss. He's had a great start to his 8th season. And boy, gonna go ahead and just do a little bit of one of these, this little old a dupe, a little pat on the back, and a little tip of my own hat to myself. I'm the humblest at being humble. Let me be humble. I am the humblest at being humble. All right, Mad Hatter Nation, how we doing, chat? We'll go see what you guys are saying. Tim 20, Chip Kelly's the problem with the Raiders. NFL's DCs are laughing at his college offensive schemes. Yes, dude, it is a poor performance by whatever the Raiders are trying to do. What's good, everybody? What up, Riley O'Brien? My guy, good to see you, brother. How you doing? Hopefully you're having a good week, my dude. It's been, a little bit of upsy down and a little bit of downsy up, but it's Thursday, which means the weekend's almost here, guys. I can't type this morning. Don't worry, I can't either, Brent. I can't type or read. It's awesome to see you. Coach standing in line to talk you. So, all right, well, I'm going to sound stupid. Riley, are you? I'm gonna sound like an asshole, dude. I'm so sorry, Riley. Are you a content creator, dude? My bad. I'm sorry, dude. I'm so sorry, bro. I don't want to sound like an asshole. Are you Lions Talk Live then? Keep up the great work. Riley. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Trey. So yeah. All right. So he's a content creator. Good human, good takes. Right. Hang on. Riley is Is that your channel name? Oh, my knee. Oh, my God. Woo! We just got a hell of a pop in my knee, boys and girls. What am I doing? I can just look it up. I'm fucking dumb. I'm so stupid, guys. I'm so stupid. My bad, Riley. I had no idea. Are you Riley O'Brien Vlogs? Or are you Riley? Damn, dude. No offense, bro. You got like the most. Oh, it's because I didn't put an apostrophe. I was like, you got the most like generic Irish fucking name ever, dude. Here you are. You only got 16 subscribers, bro. What the fuck? That's lame. Well, there. Now you got 17, dude. Or are you on another channel? Why can't it just show me the fucking channel? Why does it do all this stuff? Oh, I'm already subscribed. All right. My bad. I'm fucking dumb. Damn. All right. Well, I'm kind of stupid. Apparently, I've been subscribed to you guys for a while. Oh, you know what it is? Yeah. Okay. No, I know. All right. Now that I see the face, I know exactly who this channel is. I know exactly who you are now. Gotcha, dude. My bad. Personally, your thumbnails always kind of get lost in my sauce. And sometimes I think it's an ad. No offense. I'm not trying to be a dick, dude. My bad. I'm not trying to be a dick, brother. I'm not trying to be a dick. But is this you, bro? Is this you? I've seen your content before, man. What the fuck was you were talking about Brian Branch the other day, and I commented on your video. Yeah, because you were talking about Brian Branch a day or two ago, a couple days back. Something. Shit, man, my bad, dude. You know me. Big brain hat and beard over here. Can't remember what the fuck he had for breakfast the day before. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today. We're going to go ahead and put this one in the bag. We talked about the Vikings-Chargers Thursday night game. We talked about NFL's stupid decision to double down on bad butthole Bunny. He's a douchebag, and we don't want to watch the NFL halftime show if he's going to be performing. Taylor Decker continues to slide and regress because he is just getting older and older and older, and it's not a good thing that his shoulder is losing its strength mid-season. It is very, very not bad, or very, very not good. Then we talked Tim Twentyman, who designated 5 players and an honorable mention. Action Jack Campbell. Well, he was on that list. Ho, ho, ho. Someone's been hyping him up all year. Oh, and our guy, El-Qadim Muhammad, is an honorable mention. And let us not forget that this very important thing. Jared Goff's best quarterback in the league against the Blitz with 128% passer rating. A few years back, Jared Goff was the worst quarterback in the league against the Blitz. Talk about turning your weakness into a strength. Our guy, absolutely awesome. Oh, dude. Oh, damn. The chat just went wild. Going to check my buddy later. Convince him who's a Raiders fan. Think if they're moving away. I would if I was a Raiders fan. Coach Dan runs Lions Talk Live. Gotcha. Daily 7 a.m. and Riley goes on a few channels. Okay, I was wondering, dude, because I'm like, I've seen those thumbnails on Lions Talk Live pop up a couple of times, and I'm like, dude, not for nothing, but like, how is this guy getting content out before me? Like, I'm up here at like fucking 10 a.m. That's not the latest, but it's not the earliest, but it's not the latest. And I'm like, this guy's already got like 2 or 3 shows up. Ruben Lowing, when I look at what is going on with the Lions right now, the only weak point that pops out is the middle of the offensive line. If we can solve that, then they are going to run the table. Yes, sir. That's why, Ruben, good take, my guy. Shout out Ruben Lowing. I absolutely love that take, which is why we're kind of hoping, we're wishing and hoping and praying that the Raiders want to trade Jackson Powers Johnson to the Detroit Lions. Let's go with that move right there. Please, please, and please, and please. No, that's not him. That's not him. Oh, he's on the channel sometimes. Gotcha. Okay. I'm sorry. I couldn't quite see the chat outside of the window. I was too tunnel visioned on what was going on. Find a new content creators, maybe link up, do a show together. Always down for PFR talking lines. Hell yeah, dude. I don't know how to link up and do like I've never done like content with other people before. I don't know how that works. I just do my thing. But yeah, dude, I like talking ball with other people, dude. It's fun. He used to be the co-host on Rocked On Detroit Lions. Don't know if he still is anymore. Okay, I know that show too. I know that name, Rocked On Lions. I know that name too. Coach Dan also does real estate across the state. Damn, no shit. Am I in Michigan? Yes, Ruben Lowing. I am in Michigan. Very mid-Michigan. Very mid-Michigan guy. Rocked On Lions. I remember Rocked On Lions. God, whatever happened to that guy? He was a younger kid, and he was like going to school to become an NFL scout or something like that. Oh, God, what was his name? Creators are ready to link up with you, Hat. Don at LNU, etc. Who's Don at LNU? Lions Nation United or something like that? Hope all you guys great channels up. Dude, that's... You know what I need to do? Dion. Yes, Dion. Keitho. Yes, Keitho. That Dion. Dose of Dion. That was his name. Dose of Dion. Yes. You guys know who I'm talking about. Dose of Dion. Yes. Is he still doing content? Is that guy still doing content? I never see his channel never gets recommended to me. Wasn't it like Dose of Dion 2.0 or something like that? Yeah, whatever happened to that guy? Is he still around? I know we're getting a little long in the tooth here, and I got to wrap up. I got to hard out in like 5 minutes, guys. I gotta finish the final touches on my You guys should see the fucking grievance I'm about to drop on their desk tonight. I got to there it is, Dose of Dion. I got to finish that up tonight. Oh, yeah, he's still doing content. Damn, 20,000 subscribers. Why am I not subscribed? Oh, I know why. That was I didn't subscribe to him because I was all salty about other people having way more success than me early on. Because I was a salty little bitch and was like, meh, 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 meh. So that's why I didn't subscribe to him, because I was a whiny little baby back bitch. Yeah, Dose of Dion. Yeah, dude. Yes, does NFC North Roundtable. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, hell yeah, Dose of Dion. Yeah, so wasn't he like gonna be an NFL scout or something like that? Wasn't that kind of... You see how long it's been. You see how like disconnected I am. Yes, Brandy, you are 100%. I own up to it, and I admit it. I used to be a real salty motherfucker. I used to be real fucking salty. And ultimately realize that it's just salty is pointless when I can just work harder. Just show up every fucking day. It's consistency is king. Doing YouTube content it's no different than working out. It is absolutely no different than working out. Some days you're going to have a really good day in the gym. Other days, you just have to show up. You guys want to know a full fucking disclosure? Tuesday, I was hungover as a motherfucker. I barely made it through the show Tuesday. Yesterday, exhausted. I didn't even want to do a fucking show yesterday, but we did it. Today's been the only day all week where I woke up feeling absolutely ready to rock and roll and ready to take on the fucking show. But here we are showing up. So what I realized is that being salty was fucking pointless, and all it did was put the blame on other people and not be accountable for myself. So just like working out, I decided that I had to be accountable for everything and that I was going to make my own fate. And it's just about showing up every single fucking day, which is why I'm just here every fucking day, Monday through Friday, with you guys every single day. Dion has great tape. He's still at school. Okay, gotcha. He's doing stuff. He's still around. Fucking yeah. You're in Houston. Nice. But when I went to Texans versus Lions game last year, the majority of the stadium was blue. Ruben, that's awesome, dude. Hey, shout out down in Texas, my guy, bro. That's cool. I've thought about moving to Texas a handful of times, dude. I just like I like the idea of Texas. You know what I'm saying? But I'm one of those guys that's like, don't California my Texas, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's still going to school. Deanna's tape breakdown. That's awesome. Lions doing big things, but he's still a guy we love for Lions content. Hell yeah, that's awesome. That was the most Mojo Jojo laugh. Yo, Rallin, dude, you don't understand, bro. I have been like, I got him, bro. I can't talk too much, but let's just say I have him on not only CBA violations, I have them on Michigan WPA violations. I have them on NLRA Section 7, Section 8A1, Section 8A4 violations. I also can show a repeated pattern of targeted and retaliatory behavior during and obstructing a protected union activity. I got him fucked, dude. I absolutely got him fucked. And the problem is that I can show, I can't disclose too much of it, but in my grievance, as well as the information that I've sent to my international rep, I can show a distinct pattern over the course of 1 year of action taken by me in my capacity as the unit chair, building steward, and unit steward, where I have taken action and as a protected individual, and then the company has directly retaliated with me, citing very vague language. So this is all a long, multiple things, and I'm willing to end this all at grievance step 1, but I'm giving them certain requirements of things that they have to meet in order to do that. One of them is issuing me a written statement of apology and acknowledging their wrongdoing. Shout out to Lions Talk Life for sure. Hatton Beard Show's fire. Glad Brandy introduced me. Dude, Riley, I appreciate it. Shout out Brandy, dude. Brandy. Like, are you in like advertising or something? Because sister, you got like I'm pretty sure that she's single-handedly been accounting for like at least 40 of my last like 30 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Florida over Texas, Mr. Detroit City. I think I'm with you on that one. Keep pushing on, brother. Thank you, Keitho. I appreciate that, bro. You guys are all awesome. No, Riley. You guys are all awesome. He still does that stuff, but I'm pretty sure he went to the Senior Bowl practice the back years. Oh, that's dope. Do what my mom does. Winter in Texas, summer in Manton, Michigan. Oh, Ruben. Nice, dude. My grandparents, they did that. They wintered, so they retired the year I was born, and then, I mean, they're dead now, but my grandparents used to winter in Mesa, Arizona, and then they would summer back here in Michigan. Brandy is from Rocked On Lions. Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, I knew Brandy. I knew you basically have the blue wrench for at least a couple of shows. At least that's my understanding. She's very kind of polite. One of the good ones. Dude, I'll admit, Brandy's one of the best, dude. She's one of the best. I think she works in advertising. Well, you guys, we know the truth about Brandy. She actually works for the NFL because she has access to the script because she knows things before everybody else knows things. Like Amon-Ra scoring on Detroit's first opening possession last game and calling the Brock Wright touchdown in like week 1 or 2. Brandy, you know something. I know you know something. You have access to the script. That's going to be it for today, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Tomorrow will be even more relaxed because it is the bye week, and I'm going to be on suspension. So we might pull out the old off-season Hawaiian shirt. Who knows? We'll see. Appreciate each and every one of you, all of you guys that partook in the chat, sat through my rambling in 6th grade reading level, and then also engaged in the poll. Looks like the majority of us are replacing the deck is what we want. Dion also does stuff for Lions Nation Unite with Herman Moore. That's freaking awesome, dude. That's awesome. Another great moderator, good positive stuff. Slowly channel will grow, brother. Keep it up. Thank you, Mr. Detroit City. I appreciate it, man. We're grinded, dude. I am like not at all dissatisfied with the growth we've had, if we're being honest. I'm personally, we're farther ahead in my projections of the year. Way farther ahead. Apparently, me yelling about how Brian Branch did nothing wrong really struck a nerve with some people, both in a good way and a bad way. But, you know, it is what it is. Stay out of trouble, guys. Have a good rest of the day. We will catch you right back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. for our Friday edition of the Hat and Beard Show. Then we're just going to coast on into the bye week weekend. A well-deserved rest for us, for the Detroit Lions, and a time to kick back and relax. We'll see you then. I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. Until next time, bonga bonga. Frig off.